Right now, can you see this? Yeah, okay. If you can't see it for whatever reason, it is on Google Classroom. It's called Interview Tips. Because we're going to be practicing our interview skills just because eventually we're going to be interviewing Harvard gentlemen that have been in the service that are veterans. Right now, we can't do our Veterans Day assembly, but as soon as we can do it, we're still going to go ahead and get that in the works. Hi, Kiana. So she's one of the ones, and Annika and Jaden, they've been working really hard when we were at school on preparing for that Veterans Day assembly. So we're practicing interview tips for that, for down the road when we do that. And I think it's also cool just to have like some sort of a record of this time. So we're focusing on, the theme's going to be life-changing events, which this has been. You guys are living through history, as you all know. If you really don't want to talk about coronavirus, I don't blame you. You can just go ahead and create 5 of your own interview questions and interview an adult. It has to be someone 18 or older. Could be anybody, could be your aunt, grandma, older brother, sister, parents, a neighbor. So you can do it by phone. You can videotape it, or if you're not able to do that with audio or video, you can just interview them, just talking to them on your phone and writing down the answers that they have to your questions. Okay, I don't see anyone else coming in. So for right now, I will get started on my slides here. So I'm going to say bye-bye to you guys. So this is what you'll see, the interview tips. They are on Google Classroom. And let's just hit view present here. So it's really a 3-day assignment because we don't have school on Wednesdays right now. Teachers are in meetings all day. And then Friday of this week, you already had off just because it's Good Friday and it's a spring holiday. So for this assignment, we'll be practicing our interview skills, like I said, and also have a record of an adult's perspective on this historical time. If you don't want to talk about this particular moment, you can just talk to them about a time in their life where something really important happened and it changed their life. It could have been, you know, a war that they lived through. It could have been just even like a job change, anything. So choose an adult in your life that you can interview. As I said, this can be done on the phone, through FaceTime or video. Hi, Tony. Your final product submitted is going to be either a video, an audio recording, or you can just submit a Google Doc with your questions. You have to have 5 questions and the answers. Okay, see if this works to move on. Oh, come on. Oh, it did. So interview tips, we're just going to read through this. People that are not here, if you have friends that are not here, tell them they need to just read through this on their own. So you'll set up an interview by request. Find a time that works for you and the interviewee. Put it on your calendar so that you don't forget, because you don't want to be rude and forget to call them at the time that you scheduled it. So if you're videotaping it, bring your camera charged up. Most of you are just going to be using your camera phone. I treated myself to a new iPhone 11 for my birthday. And if you're not going to do that, you can bring a notebook and just scratch out the questions and answers, or you can bring your Chromebook and be typing away when they answer your questions, and bring your smile. So your choice is those 3 things: video, audio, or write out your questions. All right, next slide. So interview don'ts. Don't ask any questions that can be answered with a yes or a no. I've already given you a list of questions to choose from, and we'll go through this later, but you just need to come up with 2 of your own. So they have to be open-ended questions. Don't just wing it. You do want it to be a conversation, but you also want to have questions prepared. Don't interrupt your interviewee unless they really go down a rabbit trail like I do sometimes. Don't conduct it in a space with a lot of distracting background noise. Like, I know you can't help it if the dog barks, but make sure the TV is turned down, etc. Okay, interview do's. I have included a few YouTube videos. This one is only about 5 minutes, and this one is, I think, now they're both 5 or approximately 5. This one might be a little bit longer. So, as I said, set up a quiet place to meet. If you're filming, check for good lighting. Okay, nobody likes to look, crappy on film. So try to get like maybe some outside lighting if you can, coming through, that helps, or just go ahead and light them, with some overhead light. Prepare your open-ended questions, and we'll go over how to write those in a minute. Make the interview conversational, like you're talking back and forth. So it's not so much like, you're drilling them with questions. And then there's another link down here. This is interview tips from a journalist. The one up here is more about filming. So if you are going to film, you want to watch that. If you're not going to film and you're just going to interview on the phone, writing out questions and answers, you can skip that one. But I'll let you guys watch those on your own. Okay, next slide. So this is what I'm talking about with open-ended questions. And I'm sure you guys have already practiced this skill in other grade levels and also with your language arts classes. So open-ended questions are ones that cannot be answered with a yes or no. So it's the who, what, how, where, and when beginning questions that you want to start with. So one question that you do not want to use, you don't want to use, or one question beginner is do, like, do you feel anxious during this time? That's not going to get you a nice long answer. That's just going to get you a yes or no answer. So you want to say, maybe, how do you feel right now during this time that we're living through? That's going to get you a longer, more comprehensive answer. So here's the questions that I promised you. So I wrote these ones, and you guys can pick 3 from this list if you want. If you want to write all your own questions, that's fine too. So I'll let you read through those. 1 through 5, you're going to pick 3, and then 2 of them you will write on your own. So 3 I've already given you, 2 you write on your own. I thought the first one that I said, the biggest change, what has been the biggest change for you during the last few weeks that we've been living through this sort of sequestered, not necessarily, I don't want to call it quarantine, because you're not really quarantined unless you're ill, but you've been, away, or social distancing. And then I really focus my questions on more of the positives of what's happening, because there are some things that, I feel like we can be thankful for, we can kind of look forward to. Hold on, I'm going to admit Manny. Hi, Manny. We're just going over the slides right now, Manny. Goals for the future, activities that you've enjoyed. I've really enjoyed just walking my dog more. So I feel like I'm in a little bit better shape than I was before. So things like that. If you want to go ahead, I'm admitting Erin. Hi, Erin. And write 2 of your own that are not necessarily focused on the positive of this experience. I'm perfectly fine with that, because this is not all, fun and games, right? So whichever way you want to go with it, because it is your interview. So you're pretending not that you're interviewing somebody as like, a boss situation for a job. You're more of a journalist. So think of yourself as a journalist. That's why with the YouTube videos, people that just entered the room, hi. If you look at all the slides in the back, we just went, or back up, there's 2 YouTube videos about interviewing. And it's more like interviewing, like you're the journalist and you're interviewing this person about their experience. So your 2 open-ended questions can go here, or you can just scratch them out. If you want to make a copy of this and type them in there, then you'll just have these slides to bring with you. If you want to do that for your interview, that's fine. So remember to record your video or your audio, or write down your answers when you are interviewing though. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this screen. For people that came in late, that's fine. You guys have access to this on Google Classroom. So for this assignment, there's 2 things on Google Classroom. There's these slides that explains everything, and then there's also a spot for you to submit your Google Doc with your questions and answers or your video. All right, I'm going to take mute off so you guys can chit chat or ask questions. So hold on. How do I do this? That's my audio. Oh, and get outside and play a little bit. Take your dog for a walk.